Union Pacific is one of the country's most recognized companies, providing a critical link in the global supply chain. Throughout their more than 155-year history, they've consistently supported the military, whether by moving troops and supplies or by providing good jobs for our veterans.
My job in the Marine Corps was in the Aviation Supply Accounting Department. So I worked with getting a lot of equipment, flight equipment for the pilots, for the helicopters, and everything like that. And then I went into the Aviation Supply Repairable Division, working with helicopter and jet parts.
I was in a combat engineer unit in Farmington, Missouri, the 1140th Combat Engineer. From A to Z, everything that you could imagine was in the military, we'd seen part of it.
In the military, I was a firefighter, and I also played cop. Active duty for about 3.5 years. I think after 9/11, I wanted to be a firefighter, and that's what I did when I joined the military.
I was pregnant with my first daughter, and I decided that I didn't want to quite raise her with always being deployed, and I love to deploy. So I knew it was time at that moment. The appealing thing that brought me to Union Pacific was the gentleman that I was talked to actually was in the Marine Corps previously as well. And so we talked a lot about how those different skills can transfer over. I also enjoyed the fact that it wasn't your typical work environment as far as an office.
Civilian life, but being in law enforcement and being with the National Guard, it was really kind of hard sometimes to coexist, especially when I went undercover. And it made it easier for me to get out of the military because I loved what I was doing at the time in law enforcement. I found Union Pacific through a friend, and he's like, Union Pacific's hiring. They love veterans. They love law enforcement guys. You need to jump on this and see if you can get a job. And when I applied that night, actually, and 3 days later, I get a phone call.
Out of the military, I wanted to become a civilian firefighter. I had applied for Union Pacific, and they called me and asked me if I was still interested. So I came on with UP looking for a change.
Union Pacific is a transportation company that we move product for customers from point A to point B. We operate in about 23 different states.
Union Pacific Railroad has always had a strong relationship with the U.S. military, dating back to Civil War days, before World War II. We've helped ship troops and equipment back to those major campaigns back then, and still do to this day.
I'm a manager of terminal operations here, so I will look at the flow of things. I try to keep things running on schedule as far as the trains themselves, getting the right car to the right destination for the customers. My military experience helped me here at UP because it allows me to take in a lot of different things at one time and able to make that quick decision as needed that best fits the company.
My job now is a locomotive engineer. We get the trains up to the speed, we stop at the proper locations, and get it from point A to point B at the quickest time. I really do like my job with Union Pacific, and it does relate a lot to the military stuff. We're constantly adapting and overcoming. We always are on change, we're always going, and the military really does help you prepare for that kind of stuff.
There were a lot of opportunities for me to take advantage of when I came on with UP. I was in the right place at the right time. One thing led to another, and here I am. If it weren't for my hazmat background as a firefighter in the military, I wouldn't be able to be in this position now as a hazmat manager with UP.
One thing they do that is very well is that they do take care of their vets and value them. We actually have an employee resource group called UP Vets. What that is, that's pretty much vets helping vets. It allows us to get together, socialize. So it's that brotherhood, sisterhood within Union Pacific as well.
And we actually reach out to veterans to help guide them when they come into the company.
UP Vets is an employee resource group. It's an ERG within our company. It's a place you can go to have a commonality between you and a history of other military members.
If you're a transitioning veteran, Union Pacific is the place for you.
Any veterans out there looking to take the next step, Union Pacific is a great place to be.
You were serving your country in the military, and you can still serve your country by coming and joining Union Pacific.